Hello everyone. So, it's been a long time since I last made a video with a voiceover, or I think it was the Marco figure which I voiced. Yeah, I think that was the one. But anyways, recently I've been getting into just adding the initial and the final result of the figure, sensing that I don't really have as much to share, but as always, questions are always welcome. uh, you know I don't know which format people prefer more, so maybe you can let me know in the comments, and I'll see where things go from there. But either way, today I want to talk about a new painting that I just finished. Of course, I didn't record anything this time. Actually, I've been avoiding recording my paintings for the time lapse for the past few figures, and I think I want to keep it that way. So, anyways, let's get to the painting. This, I have to say, is one of my favorite paintings in a very long time. It's Kinnikuman, and honestly, there are like very few good figures of Kinnikuman which are like reasonably priced. Most of their figures are from the CCP series. I don't know what their full form is, but they end up being very expensive. The only ones before this were the 50th anniversary figures. What was it? Jump? I think it was for Shonen Jump, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I painted I think two or three figures of that. I'll probably add it in the video somewhere. And this one was from Ichiban Kuji. I had wanted to paint it for when it was released, but unfortunately it was quite pricey, so I decided not to paint it. But then I got an opportunity to buy the figure and I bought it, so here we are. It's honestly like Kinnikuman figures have literally the best muscle sculpting, arguably the best in all the figures out there, all the anime figures out there. I don't know about the rest, but yeah, these have, at least according to me, like the muscle anatomy and proportions, everything is really beautiful. People might want to argue that there is what is that, Baki the Grappler. There are some new figures of it in the market right now, but honestly, that Baki the Grappler actually manages to exaggerate the proportions very nicely. It's beautifully exaggerated, but that's not what I want. Like this is proportional. It's just beautiful. Just take I'll just place it here and remove my hands. You should just take a moment to take it all in. It's beautifully sculpted, like every detail, every there's like the right amount of veins. Everything is just perfect. And not only the front, even the back side is like exceptionally good. So the sculpting is of this figure is just a work of beauty. Of course, like there are other motives as well. Like I do go to the gym, and I've been going to the gym for quite some time, so that kind of provides a motivation to look at things like this, and wishful thinking that I wish I was this good looking. Not the face, of course, but muscle sculpting wise, this is absolutely beautiful. And that is actually a reason I bought two of these figures, and I'll be keeping one with me like forever. I don't plan to paint it. It will just stay with me. Maybe I'll paint it like later, 3 or 4 years down the lane, but I plan to keep that figure with me forever. But this one, yeah, I had to like try my hands at painting at least one of them. And honestly, like, after a very long time, I don't paint as many male figures these days. It's been, my work has shifted majorly towards just female characters. So it's very refreshing to actually paint a very well sculpted male figure. And honestly, like, the painting work, it was so damn relaxing. I mean, for the first time, I find myself saying this, that it was damn relaxing. I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed every brush stroke on this figure. I mean, I have no words to describe how nice it felt. Honestly, like, when I started on the skin tone, like, obviously, like, the process is normal, and I appreciate that there are not as many colors on this figure. It's just, standard. So I didn't have to, mix too many colors. Of course, I did mix quite a lot for the skin, and I started with the skin. So if you observe, maybe I'll point it out. So this, or rather, this is more clear. This shade right here, this was the base. So I started with this, and I started on a weekend. I actually ended up, like, painting for the whole day. I was up till like 4 a.m. painting the skin, and for once, like, I wasn't tired, I wasn't feeling sleepy. It was just pure bliss. I don't know how to describe it. I know someone normal, listening to this will think I am crazy. Like, you can say that. I won't blame you for calling me crazy over this, but it was such pure bliss that I was awake till 4 a.m. painting just the skin. So this one took, like, this was the base layer, which I did end up changing once. So it was like I painted it with airbrush. Of course, like, I spray painted because it's easier to cover larger area. And I wasn't happy with the shade, so I decided to change it, and finally ended up with this particular shade. Then I went with the darker tones, so I got this one, which was, again, it was a little tricky to obtain these shades, but they were the usual mix. Maybe I'll try to mix those colors up once again on the video this time. Then finally I went to the darkest tone, which ended up looking really nice. So by the time I was done with that, I actually decided to add a little bit of highlight at the, so basically I wanted to show some reflected light, and I decided to add a little blue to the darkest skin tone, just to add that effect of reflected light on the skin. And I ended up adding it, like, at some of the darkest places, and honestly, that it looks really nice. So what I love about this figure is, when you observe from a distance, like, when the figure is at a distance, you cannot really see these reflected light patterns, so they don't really disturb the whole painting as much. So when you're viewing from a distance, you will see just the outer shape. It's like you see the muscle details really nicely. You are more, or rather, your gaze is more fixed at the muscle sculpting and everything. So that kind of makes it attractive from a distance, and then when you get close to it, you can see, like, the highlights and the reflection and all those things. It honestly, this ended up being a really nice piece. Like, I am in love with it. It's, yeah, I'm in love with how this piece turned out to be. Even the back, it just looks beautiful, man. I can't deny that it does not look good. It's really nice. So that was the main part. I mean, skin is obviously the main focus in a figure like this, where there is this much skin exposure. So that was the thing. And then also I did So for the reference for this figure, I ended up referring to the cover of one of the, what was it? I think it was a cover of the manga. I used it as a reference, but I did not stick to it 100% because I wanted to add a few things of my own, just to, I don't know, make it pop out a little more. Since this is a figure and that is a 2D illustration, maybe I'll add the illustration somewhere around. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I think I don't really have anything else to say about this figure. Like, I yeah, I can't easily look away from it. I'm just holding it like this, and I've been staring at this figure for quite some time now. You have to understand. The, I am in love with my work for the first time, and yeah, I don't know how to react. So bear with me. Either way, so now that we have talked about the figure itself, let's try and maybe mix up the colors. I am not really sure I'll get the exact shades, but I'll try to get as close as possible. Let me get my stuff out. So I am back with my trusted spoon. Oh wait, I should get the paint. Alright, so we are here with our trusted spoon, the one that we used last time to recreate the skin toning of Mirko, and we'll look into the skin toning of Kinnikuman. Okay, of course, starting off with the usual skin blend, which I have shared on I've posted the approximate amount of stuff you need for the base skin tone on YouTube. It's under the community posts, I guess. I think that's what they're called. So you can find more information about it there, but normally this is where I start. So this it's going to be tough to apply it with a brush, because this one is more suited for airbrushing. So I have added like a considerable amount of retarder to it, so it does not doesn't solidify that easily, which kind of makes it flow a lot more, which in other words is good for airbrushing, because you don't want your color to be too thick when you're using the airbrush, because it will just clog things up. So yeah, not the ideal thing to use with a brush, but I'm applying a very generous amount of it, literally making like a whole layer of it. I mean, if you observe, like, the layer is thick enough to cover the paint that was under it, so it's a generous amount. So now we wait for this to dry, maybe get some top coat over it. That is something I do, like once I paint the base layer in, then I add a layer of top coat just to hold things in place. I'll be right back. Alright, so I did try to dry it up and add a layer of top coat, but as you can see, it didn't really work out that well. But oh well. Yeah, it did not hold. I mean, it's kind of stupid of me to say that it is meant for airbrushing and then use it with brush. So should we go to airbrush? Ah man, not going to bother with all the cleaning work that comes with it. So now we'll just move to the highlights. I mean, the highlights are not really that difficult, there's nothing really as complicated about the highlights. It's just take the base color, add white, and you have the highlight color. So nothing uh, nothing very different from usual. Maybe I could have added a little less white to balance out the things. Now I think it looks very white, so I'll just add a slight amount of red brown. So the base skin tone, this consists mainly of red, brown and yellow and white, of course. So these three are the main constituents of the base tone, and you can vary the ratio as much as you want to get different shades, different effects. It's up to you. But when it comes to the shadows, that is where I add a little extra. Alright, I think this is good. So, yep. Alright, so now you can see this is a nice, I would say, compromise between the two extremes. And that is what I do most of the time. Find the best in between shade. So now we can move to the shadows. As I told you before, this is the base paint, which is mostly these three colors. And when moving to shadows, I increase the amount of natural brown. It's not red brown, but it looks more red, so I prefer calling it red brown, although it's the other paint that is red brown. So damn it. But anyways, so this is red brown, and you don't want to add too much of it because this affects the color quite a lot, changes the shade entirely. And honestly, if I was adding, or rather when I was making the paints for that particular figure, I'd added a lot more of natural brown. So let's try to do that. And then finally we'll add some yellow to balance things out, just to make sure it's not too red. Yep, all right. So now if you see, this is, I like this consistency. It's quite good. I think like we got the balance that we needed between the two browns. Now we can just add some yellow, and this is too much yellow, damn it. Hold on, yeah, that is also an issue. Like if you end up adding too much yellow, then the color shifts to something else and it's not that good. So you'll have to deal with it. Okay, now this is not exactly the color I wanted. You need it to be a little more darker for the shadow. So that is what we'll do. And a little more yellow shouldn't hurt. Yep, there we go. And here we are. So we have got how many shades down? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shades including the base. Now we move to the final, the 5th shade, where I'm going to add a good amount of brown. Or red brown, and a good amount of natural brown. All right. Pretty happy with this mix, but it's still a little too red for my taste, so yellow to balance things out. There you are. And here you go, the final shade. So we managed to go from the highlights to the shadows with, let's see, 4 colors. And honestly, this color scheme came out looking better. It's a little different than what is on the figure, but it's close. This is, I would say this is like the simplest, most basic thing that you can follow to when you're painting your figures. Now hold on a second, I'll get more paint. Now we add blue for the reflection. So this one was not really planned as well. Like, I just thought it would be cool to add it, because generally I make the shadows a lot darker and then add like a separate highlight just to, have like light coming in from 2 different directions. But this time I didn't really want that exact effect. So I decided to do it this way. So this is the color we end up with. It's not exactly blue, slightly different, but does the job. Maybe a little lighter, so maybe you would want to, not add as much blue to this thing. And at this point, I don't think I can do much to fix it. Maybe I can try. And I've run out of this color. I should order more. Oh well. Yeah, this is a very muddy looking color, and I think this is one part where you cannot backtrack from, because you might have to prepare like a whole new batch of color just for this. But more or less it gets the effect that I want to achieve. Somewhat like this. So now, of course, on the spoon it does not really look as good. I can add white and add another layer to it, which I've done in the figure. But yeah, on a flat surface this looks completely out of place. You would want to go in more layer wise, but on a figure it's a different story altogether. And actually I did manage to get the right amount of blue. Wasn't as extreme as what just happened, and that goes to show that you can make errors. It's normal. So yeah, I think that's it. That's it for this video. This is mostly what I did for to prepare the colors for the figure, and I hope you find it simple enough to follow and paint. If you do let me know. If you take my advice and paint, feel free to share it with me. I'd love to see people getting into this hobby and actually painting. So yeah, that's it for this time. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Feel free to ask me whatever, and I'll try my best to respond. So yeah, till then, bye bye.